Hello guys and welcome to another video. So yes, today is a bit of a different setup and today I'm doing a video where I discuss your unpopular bookish opinions. So since I know it's gonna get heated, I just wanted to be comfortable and I decided to do it from the floor because that's just way more comfortable than how I usually film. So I decided to get this nice little setup, and because I know sometimes it gives you guys anxiety when I hold my computer like this for a whole video, I got a little stool so I can hold it like this. Isn't that exciting? Like, we're evolving as a channel. Also, you guys send me so many unpopular opinions. I didn't think you guys would send me so many. Like, usually I get 40 comments sometimes, but no, you guys send me 150, and I know that some of those are more than one unpopular opinion. Disclaimer, because I already had to disclaim something in the comments. This is my own opinion, and those are your own opinions. So even if I say it's wrong, I disagree with it, it's obviously just for like humor's sake. All opinions, especially bookish related opinions, are completely subjective, so there's no right and wrong answer. Especially, I don't have the power to say if you're right or wrong. It's your opinion, it can't be right or wrong because it's just what you think. So if I say right or wrong, it's just like depending on whether if I agree with it or not. It's your opinion, so you're right and I'm right, and even if I say you're wrong, you're still right, but you're wrong in my perspective, you know? So don't take it too seriously. It's just for humor's sake. Everyone's opinions is their own. Mine is just one that I'm like throwing out there on the internet. So please be nice in the comments. Please don't come for me because this is a joke, okay? It's a joke. Okay, so first unpopular opinion. Gale from the Hunger Games wasn't that bad. Yes, Katniss is definitely better off with Peeta, but I think Gale was a cool character as well. I feel like a lot of people, especially on TikTok, have started talking about the Gale and Peeta thing again, and everyone on TikTok hates Gale. I don't personally hate him, but I've never actually liked him. Even in the books, he just seemed like such an entitled crybaby. Like, just because you're friends with Katniss doesn't mean you're entitled to have her as a girlfriend or to be in a relationship with her, because he never did anything. In all of their years of friendship, he never made a move on Katniss. Never even showed her affection of the romantic kind. But then, like, after Peeta kisses her in the Hunger Games, which he knows she was doing to survive, he's like, oh, now I want you. Now that you're coveted by someone else, now I think you're kind of cute. I don't like Gale. I don't hate him though, so I can't say if you're right or wrong. Just like, Gale, not for me. Individually, like separate from his relationship to Katniss, I didn't like him either. I just don't like his whole attitude. So yeah, I don't like Gale, that's that. Next up, we have one that I got kind of a lot, and it's that used books are superior. Like when the pages are a little brownish already. I don't know why, I just love that. It gives us such vintage aesthetic. And yeah, you're right, they are better. Not just like buying someone else's used book, but when I've read my books more than once, when I've used and abused them, when I've taken them into the bath with me, when I've taken them to the beach with me, when I've taken them to another country with me and they're kind of bitten up, the pages are starting to get a little yellow, they have I don't know, all those signs, all those creases that you've read them, it just makes me happy. That is why when I first bought my own Hunger Games copies and my own Percy Jackson copies, I immediately reread them because the first time I read them were my sister books. But because of that, I'm still attached to those copies because they're the ones I read first. So I couldn't just have like new copies of Percy Jackson and the Hunger Games and have them not have been read ever. So I had to reread them a couple of times to show them my love and make sure that they were loved and read. So I agree, used books are better than new books when they're mine because it just feels like they've been loved so much more. Next up, we have a hardcover unpopular opinion. I kind of hate hardcover books. They're really uncomfortable to hold, and the dust covers are a pain, even though they're sturdier than paperbacks. And to this, I say, you're kind of right. Okay, so how is that possible? Well, I do love hardcovers. I love looking at them, okay? But reading them is much harder. They don't fit as well in like purses or backpacks because they're usually huge, and yeah, they're very hard to carry, very hard to read, especially if like you're holding them up. They're so heavy. And basically the dust jacket thing, I'm gonna have to say that I agree. I hate dust jackets. I usually take them off the whole time I'm reading them. But in Spain, we have a trick for this, and it's that we basically don't have dust jackets for hardcovers. And I actually like that better. I don't have an example here with me right now because I don't have a lot of Spanish hardcovers, but yeah, the cover is on the book. Okay, let me show you. This is an American book. It's an American hardcover. It has a dust jacket. And then here is the book. Well, in Spain, the book just comes like this. Everything that is on the dust jacket is directly on the book. So you can never lose the cover because it's part of the book. I just generally think those are better because you get the best of both worlds. You get the aesthetic of having a hardcover without having to have a horrible dust jacket that you're probably going to lose eventually. Next up, we have one that I was not expecting at all, and that is fairy tale wise. It says, I wish there was more love for fairy tale retellings in the media, like House of Salt and Sorrows. I don't know if anyone has read it, and honestly, I don't agree because I think there's a lot of love for fairy tale retellings in media, both in literature and like TV. Like right off the top of my head, I can already think of Once Upon a Time. That has like 100 seasons, and it's all based on fairy tale retellings. And then we have the Lunar Chronicles, we have Cinderella is Dead, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. There are so many I can think of off the top of my head, like especially in literature. I don't know if like in TV show there's that many, but I'm sure there are. So I don't know, because I don't agree with you, not because you have a bad opinion, just because I think there are a lot of them. So I don't know. And then the same person says, don't get me wrong, I still thoroughly enjoyed them, but I don't like King of Scars or Rule of Wolves as much as the Six of Crows duology. You're right, I don't like them as much either. And after a couple of months of having read them and like having time with my thoughts, I agree, they're not as good. I never thought they were as good, I just thought they were really good, but basically they're like a fan service in a duology because they weren't necessary at all. They were just for like the hardcore fans, which I am, so I can appreciate it for what they are, and I love them, and I love the characters, and I love the character arcs, and I love the ships and the dynamics. But honestly, we didn't really necessarily need them, so I enjoy them for what they are. I will reread them probably in the future, but you're right, it's just not as good as the Six of Crows duology. Will anything ever be? I don't think so. And finally, this person said, I don't know how unpopular this is, but I kind of hate reading or watching horror. And you're completely right, I hate it as well. You cannot get me to do that because I hate it. I think I hate watching it more because I have a very vivid imagination, so if you put the image in my head, that's even worse than just having to read it. But okay, let's move on. Next up is, not sure if this counts, but some of my favorite book series have been discovered by raiding my parent bookshelves. Older books can also be great, and I think you are right. Yeah, older books can also be great. I don't necessarily have the same experience that you do because my parents aren't really readers, but I did raid my sister's shelves when I was younger and starting to become a reader, so that really helped me get into reading, so I agree. Even though some of those books I would say that I would not like at all today, they got me into reading and to where I am today. So yeah, raid your family's bookshelves because there are some hidden gems in there. One of the opinions that I see repeated here a lot is that Peeta should have been the Mockingjay instead of Katniss, and to this I say you are completely wrong. I don't agree with you at all. How is Peeta the Mockingjay? The very reason Katniss is the Mockingjay is because she was the one that was willing to die to kill both of them in order to beat the Hunger Games. It was her idea to eat the Nightshade. She was the one who refused to kill Peeta and was like, man, we should just kill each other. Peeta would have let Katniss kill him. It was her that came up with that idea to rebel against the capital. And it was more than that. It was how she played the games. Like, when she did the whole flower thing from Wu when she was dead after having protected her. That is what made Katniss be an inspiration to all the districts. Peeta just went around with other people not doing anything and then almost got killed and then had mud makeup on his face and then had Katniss save his life. So he didn't really do much in comparison to Katniss. So this one I can't say I agree with at all. I'm sorry. I just can't. Then the same person said Harry Potter isn't that great, and I've seen so much Harry Potter or Percy Jackson slander in this tab today that I don't know. Why do the Harry Potter and the Percy Jackson fandoms hate each other? Oh my god, it's crazy. But I'll talk about that later because I know there was a person specifically that had a lot of opinions. The next one is also we need more asexual characters in YA literature, and I agree. I think we need more representation for the LGBTQ plus community in general, but especially in the YA genre because, you know, it's more focused on younger demographics and it's important for young people to see that from a young age. So yeah, I agree. Good job. Next up, we have audiobooks are sometimes better than an actual book, and to that I say, yeah, sometimes they are. I have read both of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books with audiobooks, and I think that really added to the experience because they're both told in like weird formats, and those formats work super well with audiobooks. So yeah, I think you're right. Sometimes audiobooks are really good. And they're a really good tool for people with disabilities or people who find it better to read through audiobooks, so I agree. They are great. They are expensive, but great. Next up is I have no problem dog-earing a page to keep my place. It doesn't ruin the book in my opinion, and bookmarks are a pain. They always get lost or fall out and I lose my place. I 100% agree with you. You are right. I do not mind dog-earing books. In fact, here I have an example of a book that I have dog-eared kind of a lot. I don't know if you can see. Every time something happened, I just dog-eared it so I could remember to talk about it in my book review. So if you want to see the book review for that book, I'll leave it linked up there. I agree, it's fine. As long, and a lot of people also said this, as long as you don't dog-ear someone else's book because you borrowed it, it's completely fine. If they're your own books, if you dog-ear someone else's book, or like a book from the library or someone, I hate you. Like, I'm not being dramatic, but that is on the same level as when you borrow a pen for someone and you bite it. I once lent a pen to someone and they spent the class biting the cap. I almost threw it at their face when they gave it back to me. So don't do that to someone else's property, okay? It's completely fine when you do it to your own book. Like, I get it. But if it's someone else's book, you better back off. Next up, we have I'd rather have a story with average writing but amazing character development than a story written very well but has bland characters. And to you, I say that I've had to think about this one a lot, and I've had to read a lot of books in order to come to the conclusion that I agree. And you are right. As someone who reads fan fiction, I can tell you that if the writing is like average but the grammar is good, and the character development is incredible and has good character relationships, then you don't care that it doesn't have exquisite writing. I'm not here for the way you say things. I'm here for the things you say, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care if you describe a tree beautifully if all you're doing is describing a tree, you know? I just want something interesting for you to describe, even if you describe it in a mediocre way. Am I making sense? I don't care, but you understand. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Please leave a like if you liked it. Comment down below if you agree or disagree with my opinions. And guys, please be nice. I know I said that some of you were right and were wrong, but it's all just, obviously it's your opinion. If it's your opinion, you're right. It's just, I don't agree with it. But anyhow, please leave a comment and tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I guess it'd be hypocritical of me not to let you guys do the same. So yeah, you can do that if you want. Just be nice about it, please. Subscribe if you haven't already and click that bell button so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos very frequently on this channel. And actually, please go follow me on Instagram because I'm gonna start doing the polls and asking you questions there so that it's more accessible to everyone. So please go follow me there because the next one will probably be on there. And I'll see you guys next time, and keep your eyes peeled for the next part of this video. Bye!